Hi guys, welcome back to Casually Crafted. My name is Ashley and this is Crafty Chat number 82. So this video might be in bits and pieces a little bit. I have a few minutes before I need to go get my daughters from school, but I wanted to get this done while it's during the day, while they're gone, and I don't have to wait till bedtime, and then I usually get tired and get unmotivated to do it. So I am going to start with some finished objects and see how much time we have from there. So the first one is I have a little clip of what I sent my mom for Mother's Day, which was yesterday, and I did send it late, so she's getting it today. So by the time I edit this tonight and then post it tomorrow probably, she'll have already gotten it. So I will insert that clip here. Hi guys, so this is just going to be a quick clip of this thing I made for my mom for Mother's Day because I need to send it out in the mail today and it probably won't even get there on time at this point, but oh well. So this is what I made for her. This is I forgot his name, I think Hamish the Highland Cow. The pattern is by the Friendly Red, no, I did that again. The pattern is by Teresa's Crochet Shop. I don't know why I always get those two mixed up, but it is a paid for pattern from Etsy, and it came with a like acrylic yarn version and a plush yarn version. So for now I made this one. I mean, the pattern was fine. It kind of felt like it took forever because I'm not used to doing the normal acrylic ones. I used a G hook like it called for, and I'll show you what yarns I used because I was trying to find a color that matched this fur yarn that I found at a thrift store. So his main body is Skein Tones by Lion Brand, and it's the color, I don't know, Adobe. So that's that. And then his little tan parts, his muzzle and his feet and his hoofs, I guess, is Big Twist Value, and that is the color Camel. And then his horns I did just, I don't know what this is, and there's fuzz all over it, but I don't know, it's old and scratchy. It might be an old red heart, who knows. It's just something I had in my stash. So, oh, and then the fur is Lion Brand Fun Fur. Like I said, I found it at a thrift store, and this is the color Copper. So I think I got two of these, I'm not sure, but I thought that was a cute color, and so I was trying to find, I finally found this that I thought would match really good. So I did, so in her pattern, she just has you use acrylic yarn right here, and then you brush it out with like a pet brush or wire brush. But I chose to do this instead. I didn't trim it super evenly, so hopefully it's okay. I did use kind of glittery eyeballs instead of the smaller eyes called for. The muzzle, her picture makes it look more rounded than ovally, but I think I had the right stitch count around, because you kind of make a chain and then you work around the chain. So I think I did that okay. I'm not great at sewing on arms and legs and ear. Like, you have to sew on each ear, each horn, each arm, each leg, and a little tail. So, and the muzzle to the head. So I don't love sewing all that. And then the horns, it's pretty much just a tube, and you kind of have to bend this up. I think they're supposed to be more straight out from his head, but I didn't sew them on correctly, I guess. And then, what else? Oh, I forgot to add more stuffing to the neck as I was finishing up sewing the body to the head. So it's not super wobbly, but he's a little wobbly. I was like, oh well, I almost undid it to add more stuffing in there, but I didn't. I think he's a little smaller than I expected him to be, but I think the pattern says he's like so-and-so centimeters, and I don't do centimeters, so I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But yeah, so he just kind of sits, and I don't know if he sits super well by himself. He kind of leans forward, or you can like lean him up against something. And it's hard to tell, this yarn didn't fuzz very well, but you're supposed to take your wire brush, like the pet brush, and like fuzz up each piece. So they, besides like the horn and the muzzle and these parts, so he is fuzzed up a little bit, but her yarn that she used fuzzed up a lot better than this Lion brand yarn. So, or maybe it's my brush. Maybe it's just a dollar store one. I wasn't about to spend like $10 on a brush that I'm hardly ever going to use except for stuff like this, or like I think I bought it when I made some gnomes, so the gnome beard was brushed out like that. But yeah, so his parts are sewn on and crooked just like always, but sorry. But yeah, so he's done and he's cute and hopefully she likes him. Okay, so my next two finished objects are kind of silly because they're both things that I made for my daughters for Christmas, but not last year. Well, one is. Okay, so the first one is I was making this for she's now 11, but not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. I was making this for her and I never finished it, and then it just kept getting pushed off and off and off. It was on like the bottom of my to-do list on my phone for obviously like a year and a half. So what I made was this little owl for like Hedwig. She was into Harry Potter. She's not as much anymore. She still likes it, but not as much anymore. But she still wanted me to finish it, like I did ask her that. So I will post a link to this pattern. I'm pretty sure it was a paid for pattern on Etsy. It also includes like a little envelope if you want to like put it in the beak. Yeah, I don't know why it took so long to finish. All the pieces were done. I just had to like assemble it. And then, you know, a month or two ago, I sewed some pieces on, and then the other day, all I had left was to sew the feet on, the tail on, and these little V's. And then this was done. This took forever because you're changing rows colors every like 2 rows, and then I had a million ends to weave in. So the last time I worked on it, that's a big chunk that I did, was weaving all those ends in. But I do think since I started this, I've gotten better at amigurumi a little bit because I feel like she's understuffed, and I've learned that over time to not do that as much. So if I had started over, I would definitely stuff it more. And my V's aren't perfect. I was getting impatient, so I don't think she'll care. But yeah, so that's finally done. I'm gonna go put it on her bed and see if she notices it when she gets home. So then the other one was for my 7-year-old, and this was just for this last Christmas a few months ago. And she knew it was coming and what it was, and I think I've showed it to you mostly done, but and then I finished it like not too long after Christmas, but I wanted to give it to her at the same time as the other one, the Hedwig, so that they each got their Christmas presents. And so it's just been sitting in a bag under my bed, and I almost forgot about it till I saw it the other day. Anyway, it's this mermaid. The pattern is by 3am Grace Designs, and I think I talked about this because I use different like types of yarn. So like this one was almost like a Karen Simply Soft that I had to hold double in order for it to like be the same size as this, and it's all holey, so I don't like how holey that is. But this is, I love this cotton. I don't know what this is. I think this is a Mainstays pink. But anyway, it's done. I only did the hair tie on the front. I don't know if you're supposed to do it on both sides, but I don't really care. And then I think I glued all these on. I glued the hair tie on. I did glue the mouth down a little bit. And her little bra thing I glued down. So that's just crocheted on. This is just crocheted on. But yeah, so she's done. A little wobbly, but it's more of like a, you know, it's not like a one that you're supposed to try to sit up. So it's fine, I guess. Yeah, okay, so my next one is the unfinished project that I had on the little spinning wheel. And it's the Snow Not Knit, I don't remember if it's beanie or toque or whatever you want to call it. And this is also a pattern I purchased off of Etsy. And I started it while we were on our cruise in Alaska at the end of August, beginning of September, because I had a craft fair coming up. I thought it would be a quick, easy pattern. It ended up not being, it's not hard, but it wasn't as quick as I was hoping. So the pattern calls for like a bulky 6 or whatever that is, bulky 6 weight, like a woolly thick and quick type yarn or whatever, and a 10mm hook. I used a 4mm or a 4-weight yarn, but the trick where you like make it like 3 strands at a time out of one skein. If you don't know what that is, I'll post. I think Hooked by Robin did a little mini tutorial on how to do that, and I've seen it other places too. And I still use a 10mm hook, so here it is done. I followed the adult medium size pattern for the rows. So I think it's like a 4-row repeat. There's 5 rows. The first row is like kind of the setup, and then you repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 over and over. And when I went back to finish this, because I think I stopped where it like said, you know, measure to this many length, this many rows, or this length of inches rows, and I was thinking it wasn't going to fit quite right, and so I stopped there. And then so just the other night I was trying to finish it, and I could not for the life of me figure out which row I was on, because there's a lot of back loop, front loop. It's all half double crochet or half double crochet slip stitch. And so it was like I did a few rows and I was like, well, I'm doing it backwards, so I must be on a different row. And so yeah, so then you're supposed to end on a row 3 or 5, and so I just kept going until I thought it was big enough at row 3 or 5. So I finally figured it out, and I will put it on real quick for you. Ooh. And I don't think she explained super well how to seam up the, I don't know, that might actually be the seam right there, I'm not sure. So this is how it fits. I prefer hats that are more straight on my head, not like up like this. So it is a little tall for that. I think that's how she designed it though. Like she has reels on her Instagram or whatever showing it off, and they're always like poofy like this and with a head, with a pom-pom and stuff. For me, I like it snug on my head. So anyway, this one will probably be for me or my kids or whatever. I feel like the unfinished edge is a little weird. I don't know if I like that. So I don't know if I'll make it again. If I'll try it, maybe I'll try it once in like a, oh, it's gonna be all staticky now. I'll try it once maybe in like a actually bulky weight yarn. We'll see. Because I paid for the pattern, I don't want it to like go to waste in a way, like only be used once. I don't know if that's weird, but oh well. Then the only other thing I've gotten finished, it's technically not finished, it has ends to be woven in, but we're gonna call it finished for today. I decided to, I just wanted something quick to grab to do in the car. And I have a bunch of cotton yarn that I want to make like granny square bottom bags out of. Yeah, so this is one, I made it out of this Karen cotton funnel cakes. And I obviously have a lot left, but I was getting paranoid about, I wasn't sure how much yarn it actually took. And this is the color Buttercup. So it's still attached. I need to cut that off and weave in the ends. And I could make the straps thicker. I'm not sure if I want to or not. But there it is. I couldn't decide how tall to make it. She just says like make it as tall as you want. And so I was like, well, I don't know. And then make the straps. So you just kind of go around single crochets around the straps as much as you want. So it was hard to decide how much to keep going. My 4-year-old wants it. She's like, is that for me? Because she likes yellow. The spots where you skip stitches was a little more holy than I usually like to do. Like I'm usually pretty good at like keeping those stitches really tight, but this yarn is actually kind of easy to break. So I was a little paranoid about breaking it with my hook as I was crocheting, so I I didn't do those as tight as I wanted, so it is a little bit holy on those spots. But I mean, the texture of the yarn you can kind of tell because it's like a bumpy yarn, but at the same time I don't know if you can really tell that it's supposed to be kind of textured and bumpy. I don't know. Anyway, I just needed a project to work on in the car. That was kind of my list, and I didn't feel like taking amigurumi out there this time, so that's what I've been working on. So I do have a few more minutes, so I think I'll go get some of my acquisitions and show those to you real quick because my whips are all around the house right now, so I don't want to go gather those up, so hold on. Okay, so I have a lot of random acquisitions. So it'll be interesting. First, I have this bag that I got at Target, and I put it in my Easter basket. So I'll show you my other Easter basket stuff. I got this safety eye tool from Temu. Haven't decided if it's worth it or not because I was trying to put some, I got it mostly for those like sinker eyes, safety eyes that like really are supposed to like sink into the fabric of your item, I guess. And I tried to use it the other day when I was making the Highland cow, and just like squeezing it like still wasn't getting the eyes on, so I don't know if it was the eyes was a problem or this is the problem. I was able to kind of like push on like the floor and then this with the eyes in between, and that kind of helped pop it in. But otherwise, I haven't been able to get those eyes on like at all with just my fingers, so I guess it's better than nothing at this point. So I also from Temu got these safety eye sizer tools, and so you should be able to like put your eyes in there and like see what size they are in case you get them mixed up or lost or whatever. I have not checked them to see if how accurate they are. like gotten ones out that I know what size they are and tried them out. I've not done that. And then I got these at Joann's before they closed, but I just put them in my Easter basket too, so to make a necklace out of someday. And then I've got these two little bitty scissors because I want to make myself like I have like a tin of like scissors and needles and stitch markers and stuff, and I just have one that I kind of carry around to all my projects or all my places that I crochet, and I kind of want to make a few, like have one that stays in the car or one that stays in my room or whatever, just because I feel like I'm always looking for that one little case, like where did I leave it? So that's why I got these. I think I got these from Temu too. So that was Easter. Let's see. Last time I showed you some Hirschners. Apparently one was not in stock, so I got that one. This is the color Goblin. It's kind of a cool green color. So when I showed you that last time, I didn't realize I didn't have all of my Hirschners orders, so that was exciting. Then Goodwill, I found a few things. Sometimes like this last time I went to Goodwill, they had a lot of like big bags of almost like scraps, like not scraps, but you could tell they were like mostly used up skeins of yarn, and they were all random, and so I didn't feel like spending like $5 to $8 on those random bags. So I did get this bag for $2 that has some random colors in it. So kind of like a peachy color and a corally color. And I mostly got it because I can always use brown of different shades. Partly for like the towels that I do the toppers on. I have some that need brown, and I didn't always have the right shades. So for $2 I figured that wasn't too bad. Then I got this bag for $3, and that has some red heart in there, which was kind of my main reason for getting this bag. So this is my first time opening these up. So a red heart polo stripe I think there's 2 in there, but they're... It's at the bottom. Yep, another one of those without the ball band. So, oh, that might have originally been a big skein, maybe. 2 of these Red Heart Baby. And these are probably old, but it's the color Sweet Dreams. This is a very bright orange. This pink feels like Karen Simply Soft, possibly. And another Red Heart color is a Mariah. It's like blues and purples and a little bit of green in there. So I figured for $3 that wasn't too bad. Oh, I also got this at Goodwill. It's technically a scarf, but I need to wash it first, but I want to take it apart and take the yarn because it's like metallic-y and red. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I thought it was fun. And it was $1. I thought it was $2, but they rang it up as $1. So we'll see when I get to that project, but oh well. Then I had, in February, my mom got me a gift card to a local-ish yarn store. And then I like looked at their hours, and then it was like they're open from like 3 to 7 during the weekday, and then they're open like Friday, Saturday during the day. It's like, well, cool. My preschooler goes to school 1 to 4, Monday through Thursday. So I would have to go after school because my other kids are getting off of school at 3:30. So I couldn't go, like they didn't open until 3. So I was like, I'd either have to go after school with all of them or have my husband watch them, which didn't always work out, or go on Fridays or Saturday. So I finally just went on a Friday with my daughter, and she was really nice, but she was like, yeah, this isn't a kid-friendly store, so like make sure she doesn't touch anything. I was like, yeah, I get it, but oh well. Apparently she watches like her granddaughter during the day, and that's why she doesn't open the store until after school. So anyway, I had a $25 gift card, and I did spend more than that. I forgot some of it's in the car. I started working on something with part of it. The main thing I got was this Malabrigo worsted yarn. I almost got something in teal, but I really liked these like bright pinkish purplish colors. And it's worsted weight, and it's 210 yards of superwash merino. So I'll probably just make myself a hat out of this because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to spend a ton over like the 25 to like make something big. So this is what I got. Also with that, I got 4 little skeins of, it's like chenille yarn, but they're like this big. They're itty bitty. So my 4-year-old wanted yellow and purple, and I got a green and a brown because I'm making something with that. So you'll have to stay tuned for those, and maybe later today I could get them out of the car. And I also got this Knit Pro brand hook. It's a 5mm hook. And just because I was like, I've never tried this brand, so why not? They also had some clovers there, but I didn't really feel like spending $10 on a hook today, that day. And then after that, the only 2 things is garage sales. So last Saturday, not just a few days ago, we went to 2 garage sales, and one of them had this giant bag of fiberfill. And I asked how much she wanted for it because they didn't have anything priced. And she said $2. So I was like, yes, please, I will take that. I have a giant 10-pound box and other bags, but now that our Joann's is closed, I mean, I don't think I've ever bought stuffing from Joann's because I always find them at thrift stores or garage sales. So I've been very lucky in that. But it was always nice knowing that Joann's was there. Anyway, then just a few days ago, we went to a garage sale, and this lady was like, it was 99% fabric and like a little bit of other crafting stuff and some home stuff or whatever. My daughter pointed this out. She thought it was really cute. It's a receiving blanket set, so there's a baby blanket and a burp cloth with these little frogs, and it has these holes. So I'm thinking, I haven't pulled it out yet, and it was $2 or $1. I don't remember what she charged for it. But I think I would be able to crochet in the holes, even if I don't use every hole, to make an edging around it. So I thought that was a cute little project to get because I like frogs. So yep, I think that is all my acquisitions. I did just place another Hirschner's order yesterday on Mother's Day because they had free shipping, and I was waiting for that so that I could order some stuff for one of my projects that I'm working on that I showed you guys last time and then haven't worked on since. So I will need to get working on that. Anyway, I've got to go get my kids from school, so I will hopefully be back tonight with my other random whips and stuff. So hopefully see you later. Alright, so I obviously failed at finishing this video last night because it is now the next day. But this should be pretty quick because all I have is a few whips to show you, and then I'm gonna go walk on the treadmill. So there was like a minute or a few days that I thought I was maybe going to do a craft fair coming up this month, the end of the month. Then I realized it was like Memorial Day weekend and my husband's gonna be home and it's almost his birthday, and so it just like wasn't gonna work out. But because I thought that I was gonna maybe do that, I started, that's part of why I made that market bag, because I want to get a bigger stock of market bags. And then I wanted to make some coin purses. So I started 2 different coin purses and they're almost done. I just need to mostly just add the, oops, dropped one. So these are like the flex frame ones, so that when you like squeeze it, ooh, it's not connected. So you squeeze it and it pops open. Like I've made them before. But yeah, so this one is almost done. I just need to finish sewing this down, and then I'll kind of like weave that in. And then you have to close that together, and there's a little pin that comes with it, and you put the pin in there, use some pliers to close that up, and then it's good to go. So this one is made with this, whatever this yarn is. I think I got this in like a Mary Maxim mystery box, or it was one of the it was a Mary Maxim kit, because I was doing the like monthly kits for like a year or 6 months or something last year. And so yeah, it came with this one, and it's 60% cotton and 40% acrylic, and I just kind of like the colors. But it's like a Fair Isle type pattern or whatever. So this side is mostly kind of like speckles, and then it goes kind of to more solid. I do work on the round as I go until I get to this top part, and then go back and forth. So then this one switched to this darker color. Well, actually I think, yeah, I switched to the darker color here on this side, and then I cut off and then rejoin and do the rows on this side. So it is a little odd as far as the coloring goes. And I've used other self-striping yarns in it. Oh, my needle's still connected. And sometimes it just happens that way, that it ends in a weird spot or whatever, but that's okay. I mean, and there's still tons of this, so I didn't really know what to do with this. That's why I was like, well, it's mostly cotton, that could make a good coin purse, so maybe I'll make more out of it. I don't know. It's pretty soft, so we'll see what the rest of that gets made into. And this other one that I dropped is made out of Ice Yarn's macrame cord, whatever this color is. And I don't know, that probably has a number somewhere. Oh, it's probably on the bag it came in. So here's what it looks like so far. This one I accidentally started pulling, accidentally frogging. So this will be folded over. Once it's to the height that I want it, then I'll come back and rejoin on here, and then add the thing. So it definitely looks different. Oh, I used half double crochets on both of these. Sometimes I use single crochets. I never do doubles just because I want it tight enough that I don't have to line it or anything weird. So the stitches definitely look different with a cord versus, you know, a yarn. And I think I used a 4mm hook for both of these. I was frustrated with this yarn though, because, or cord, whatever you want to call it, because I've never used it before. Like, this was my first time using this skein, and I like just pulled it out of the plastic bag it comes in. So there's no way I could have made it dirty, but as I was working with it, there were like little chunks that were like brownish, like it got some oil on it or something weird. So I ended up cutting chunks out, like, and then having to like reattach. And so I do have a few like ends in here that I need to, I just have a knot right now because I didn't want it to unravel. But yeah, so like, it's already annoying enough that I have to cut and sew in these ends to do the top part. Like, I didn't want to have to do that in the middle. So there's a few spots that I think I kind of ignored just because it was like a tiny little dot, and I was like, okay, that's weird. But then, like, as I kept going, there was like a whole big, like, I cut out like 2 feet of the cord because there was like just chunks of this brownish stuff on it. So that was kind of disappointing. So hopefully the rest of these aren't like this. I mean, I have a whole bag of like 6 or 8 or whatever, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them, but but yeah. So anyway, those are my coin purses that are basically done. I was working on them in the car yesterday, and I realized I forgot my pliers to close the things, so I didn't get very far. And then my other whip that, so I'm kind of winging this. So Jo from Jo's Web, you guys probably all know her. She's been making a lot of these granny style tops where like the sleeve is like a square, and then there's a granny triangle on both sides, and then she does granny stitch in the round to do like the bottom half of the shirt. And she was inspired by a pattern by Kristen Amdahl, and so I like kind of looked at those videos from Kristen Amdahl and how she kind of did it. I didn't look at like everything. And so I'm trying it, even though there's no like exact pattern. So the first one that Jo made was made out of the same yarn, which is why I've been kind of interested in it, because I have this yarn that she used, but it's a different color. So there is a sticker on it apparently. This is the Yarn Bee Rapology Hues, and she used like a cream color. This is the Jeweled Dragonfly, so it's like navy, and it has white and pink and a little bit of purple in there. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. So I have 2 of these, so I'm hoping it's enough, and I'm just making like one granny square right now out of each one for like the sleeve part. And I don't really know how big to make it is the problem, because we're gonna like, it's kind of like a V-neck, so you attach it here, and then the other one will be here, and then the triangle. But I think this needs to be big enough to go around. So I think I was gonna stop here if this is the one. So I'm making both at the same time just because in case tension is different. So I think this is the one I was working on last and decided it might be big enough. So I think this one has a few more rounds to go. Um, so I'm gonna probably stop there, and then you make the triangles to the point where they're the same amount of like clusters across, and then you join those. Um, so I'll do kind of like do that, and then not safety pin them, stitch marker them together and kind of try it on and see, make sure it fits. Um, because yeah, I don't want to have to. I'd rather it be a little bit too big than too small. So there's that. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I'm using a 5mm hook, which so hopefully makes it nice and airy, or not airy, but like drapey. And then, but the weird thing is so I've mostly been using this as my treadmill project. So I just have it like on the little part of my treadmill, and then I'm working on it. So, but I was noticing like I was kind of loose at the beginning, and then like there's a few rows that were like really tight and short. I don't know if you can tell, but to me it seemed like I was getting tighter, like my tension was getting tighter, and so then like yesterday I was trying to do a lot looser, so I feel like it's got this weird shape going on where like I'm getting bigger, smaller, and so it's not like perfectly square. It's um like it kind of goes down on the like the corners are taller than not. I don't know. So that's part of why I'm doing both at the same time, because I didn't want the tension on one to be way different than the tension on the other and have them be two completely different sizes. Um, so yeah, so I'm kind of winging it. I don't know if how far I'll get because I've got other stuff to work on too. But like I said, it's mostly just been my treadmill project because I don't like to walk super fast on the treadmill, but just fast enough so I can still crochet, but I still feel like I'm still sweating a little bit. So yeah. Okay, look at that. Things everywhere. Um, so as far as what I need to keep working on is I have that rainbow that I was gonna make for my daughter. Um, she's turning 8 here in about 3-ish weeks, and I was gonna give it to her for part of a birthday slash baptism present for our church. So I need to work on that, and then I did spin the wheel for the few things. I forgot to take a screenshot of the one. So for fall things that I want to make, I spun the wheel and got bats. So I actually did just start some bats that I didn't feel like showing you right now, apparently, for works in progress. All I have done is parts of their faces, so or their heads. And then I have a pattern that I used last year for some littler bats. So we'll see if I decide to do it for 2 weeks or 1 week, because they were kind of popular at the craft fair I did last year. So I want to make sure I get some done and not just like skip them and move on to something else. So I might do 2 weeks of bats and then see where that gets me. And then I spun the wheel for an unfinished project because I did finish that hat that I showed you. And so I did take a screenshot of that. Maybe I'll go grab the project real quick. Hold on. Okay. So this is, I don't remember what I called it, stitch sampler bag or backpack or something. And I don't even remember why I started this project. I just like ran up the stairs for some reason. So this started with this placemat on the bottom, and I connected yarn to it, and then each section has a different stitch. So like there's like a moss stitch, I don't know what that is, some sort of herringbone stitch, probably the lemon peel stitch, I think I did the moss stitch every few rows because this is moss stitch again. I don't know what that is. Oh, bean, like a bean stitch here. And no idea. Moss stitch again. I don't know. So it's actually bigger than I remember it. But I was going to make it into a backpack. Here, I'll show you what yarn it is because it's still in here. It's a Karen 1 pound. What's the color? The color is Soft Sage. And to me, this is more, the lighting in here is not great. So it's more green than it's showing up there for sure. It like almost matches my shirt, but again, my shirt's more green than it's showing up in the video. Oh, look, the hook's still in there. And then, I don't know if you could see, but held with it on some of the rows, not every row, I probably had a system, is this Lion Brand Summer Nights. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, do I have the ball band in here or not? And this is the color Treasure Island. So I've used this yarn before to make snowflakes, but it's like the more bluish color. This one has more greens in it. Anyway, so this mostly, see, I had ends on these, and yeah. So my plan was to make this into like a backpack or drawstring bag type backpack. So really, I need to figure out the straps, and then I was going to like make this part drawstring cinch up somehow, and then like a flap. And a few years ago I made a like bumblebee type drawstring backpack type thing for one of my daughter's student teachers. I was working at their school for like a going away congratulations for graduating present or whatever. And so I was gonna use the way they did the flap part of the backpack to go over that, to kind of, I was gonna copy kind of how they did that, but I never got around to it, obviously, because I was gonna need to like count how many stitches around this was and figure out like the proportions compared to that project versus this project. So I don't know, it's so, but since my daughter's birthday is coming up and my husband's birthday and our anniversary is all in the next few weeks, the end of May, beginning of June is very busy for us. So, and it was just Mother's Day. So, I don't know if I'll get much done on this at all, but it is the next unfinished project that we're going to work on. So, maybe I'll try to set a goal of just doing the flap or the drawstring part, or figuring out that part, the straps, to make it into a backpack. If I want it to be a backpack still, we'll see. I mean, it's really big, so I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but it's not doing any good sitting there, so I do still want to finish it, and we'll see what happens, because yeah, it shouldn't just sit in my closet forever for its whole life. So anyway, sorry that took a little longer than I thought it was going to. Apparently I like to talk sometimes. So anyway, hopefully I get this edited tonight, and hopefully you'd want to watch all the way through. If not, I totally get it. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye guys.